The Eyes of the White Horse by Ned DeHaan. The audiobook. Made available on Black Box Online Radio. Please like and subscribe. Chapter 13. It took Joanna another hour to wake up. Then Barry showed her the news. Her face remained blank, and she made a small grunting noise, but that was the extent of her response. Barry knew what had happened. Martin Gill's article on TrueCrimeGovernment.com had baited the killer into writing a new letter, and the letter confirmed what Barry and Joanna had believed all along. The White Horse Killer was still alive. As soon as Joanna started to move around and edge toward the coffee maker, Barry grabbed his phone and called Martin Gill. "Hello, Barry," he heard Martin's voice on the other end. "Hi, Martin," Barry greeted him. "What the hell did you do?" "What do you mean?" Martin asked. "You know what I mean," Barry stated. "You posted that stuff on your website. You know that the White Horse Killer follows your pages. Now the killer is going to start acting again." "Why are you mad at me?" Martin kept asking. "Why am I mad at you?" Barry asked. "Martin, a serial killer is on the loose. He just abducted us, and he nearly killed us, too. Now there is a new dawn for this crappy murderer. Why are you provoking him?" "I didn't provoke anyone," Martin explained. "I also didn't rely on your information. Barry, I'm a true crime reporter." "I don't care about your reporting, Martin," Barry thundered. "What is wrong with you? Why are you provoking the killer into—" "Now that's enough," Martin interrupted. "I am not provoking anyone. You've already said that once. I didn't use you as a source for anything. I told you when I met you that I've been reporting on the White Horse Killer for years. That means that I also interact with members of law enforcement when they want to make comments. They are the ones that wanted to go public with this. Barry, this isn't only about me. Do you not read your local papers? If you don't have a newspaper, you can read it online. The authorities believe that the White Horse Killer is back. How do you even know that it was my website that he read and not the local Jonestown paper or one in Williamsport? It's all there. I bet you didn't look, did you?" "No, I didn't," Barry confessed. "And before you start chewing my head off this early in the morning," Martin continued, "you should realize that this is what you wanted. You wanted the authorities to take the White Horse Killer's story seriously. You wanted them to believe your claims that the White Horse Killer was still out there and that he was stalking you. Look, I'm sorry about what happened to you and Joanna. I mean it. But you can't blame me for everything. You know what? Actually, you can. You can blame me all you want for the newest White Horse Killer letter, but this stuff was shared to the media by law enforcement. They wanted the story out there, so that one day they might catch the real killer. That's what you wanted, right?" "No, I want him dead," Barry thought silently. "Yeah," Barry lied to Martin. "Look, Martin, I'm sorry about sounding off like that. It's just, first thing in the morning, and now, well, I don't know what to say right now. I'm sorry for getting angry with you." "Okay, thanks, I guess," Martin almost coughed. "But I really don't get you, Barry Albert. I mean, I believed you. I believed everything that you said about being attacked and beaten up by the White Horse Killer. That means that he told you that he would not announce his crimes to the public. He was going to operate in the shadows. Then there was this soft-eyes killer who claims that he killed a woman. The whole situation was spiraling out of control. But do you not see this as a good move? The real White Horse Killer is now playing the game where he does not want to hide in the shadows anymore. He is coming to the surface. Anyway, I gotta go. You and Joanna have a nice day." "Thanks. You too," said Barry. "I'm sorry again about the early morning rant." "Yeah? Bye," said Martin. Barry could tell that he had bothered Martin. He knew that he shouldn't have let his emotions get the better of him. After all, everything that Martin had said made so much sense. Barry had wanted the killer out of the shadows, and he had wanted the police to listen to him. Now they had clues. "I want to see the letter again," Joanna called to Barry. "Sure," said Barry, still feeling bad for the way that he had talked to Martin. Barry tapped a few things on his phone, and he pulled up the website for TrueCrimeGovernment.com. "To the hosts and production crews, tell the mayor that I am back with you. I have always been with you. That fool Emmanuel Inman has nothing on me. He never did. I was going to act in secret and in the shadows, but I couldn't let all of these phonies have all the glory. My glory. The red horse, the soft eyes, the head in the ditch, they are fake, and I am real. To announce my return, I shot a copper in a parked car with a .38. Then I gave an interesting ride to 2 clowns from my past. I am back, and I am alive and well. Cooper's white horse is in me, and it is running wild. The White Horse Killer. 7647-300-8703. BRCHALLAHY. BRCHALLAHHYVY. You thought I was dead? No way. What are you thinking? Barry asked Joanna. He's back to his old ways. The misspellings in the letter are so bizarre. They must be intentional. Why do you say that? Barry asked. Look here, she started. He spelled the word glory correctly. Have all of my glory, but then right next to it it's spelled gory, Gory. Glory, gory. I mean, he clearly knows how to spell the words. Maybe he wasn't paying attention, and he made a mistake, Barry suggested. Yeah, maybe, Joanna allowed, but it's like the text of the letter in this photo doesn't look rushed or hurried. It looks like he was writing carefully. There's no shakiness in the handwriting. The lines aren't dragging across the paper. I think he did it on purpose. And look here, he spelled the word cruise. C-R-U-I-S-E instead of C-R-E-W-S. It's like he is just having fun with this. He shouldn't be having fun with anything, Barry dismissed. He nearly got killed the last time he tried to have fun with his serial killer game. I don't think that's how psychopaths work, Joanna went on. I think this will always be a game for him. Even in his dying moments, he is going to go on and on with it. To us, it sounds like childish nonsense, but to him, it sounds amusing and entertaining. You should have been a criminal profiler, said Barry with sincerity. Thank you, my love, she answered. That means a lot. But we still have a big problem. What's that? Barry asked. The connection to the Soft Eyes killer, she stated. This is clearly the code created by the Soft Eyes. 7647-300-8703. Those are his numbers, and the final line is clearly Baruch Allahé Baruch Alaveh, whatever that means. So, they were best friends? Barry asked. Well, this means that they had some type of direct connection, she shared. Wait, look at these comments. People are thinking that they can solve the meaning of the words and the numbers at the bottom. They're posting some dumb crap in Martin's comments section on truecrimegovernment.com. One person here is saying that he is a schizophrenic who is having a psychotic episode. How are they coming up with this? That's impossible, said Barry. Well, I mean, I don't think so. The White Horse Killer knew too much about the Soft Eyes. He knew all this stuff before we said anything. You could tell, even in his car, he knew about the numbers. Other than confessing the secrets of the White Horse killings to his best friend, what are the possibilities? The Soft Eyes was a brother, Joanna postulated. He was a family member. He was someone who figured out the White Horse Killer's secrets and approached the killer without going to the police. I like the last one, Barry mentioned. I mean it. I'll keep thinking about that. Look, I have to start getting ready for work. I know, said Joanna. Same time every day, love. Barry knew that this wasn't over. He was going to spend every moment of the day in Jonestown thinking about the White Horse Killer. The story would play out in his mind, over and over again. Chapter 14. It was now late at night. Barry sat in his chair inside the room at the Jonestown Motel. Joanna wouldn't be ready to leave work for another 90 minutes, so he sat in the chair with a cup of Diet Coke, which he wasn't drinking. He was staring at the phone, but he wasn't really paying attention. Barry knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to talk to Martin Gill and apologize for erupting on him earlier that day. He sent him a message and asked, after saying sorry, if he could call. Martin accepted. Hey, look, I didn't mean to act like that before, said Barry. I know, said Martin in return. I know you've been under a lot of stress. I mean, I saw the stuff with the red horse, but that was all a giant prank, for me anyway. I know for Joanna it was real, and you guys were in real danger with the White Horse Killer. Yeah, but I'm letting this get to me, Barry elaborated. I am letting this twisted serial killer consume my life and my mind, and Joanna always asks me, when will it end? I'm like, I don't know. I stabbed him, Martin. I stabbed him at least 6 times in the gut, and he's still moving around free as a bird. Look, Barry, there's something that I've wanted to ask you. Martin started. I, well, I, I don't know what you're going to say about it. You can always ask, Barry encouraged him. Over the last 3 months, a lot of people have been talking about the White Horse Killer online again, he began. I mean, after all the news and the story with the Red Horse copycat and the costume they saw, well, what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people are looking into this mystery, and they want to share their findings. Okay, I follow you, Barry acknowledged. But Martin, isn't that the whole point of your website and your Facebook page? I mean, you have a whole forum for that online. I know you talk about other cases, but this is the one most of your readers focused on, right? That's right, Martin hummed. So I don't know why this is so hard for me to say. Is it something bad? Barry asked him. No, it isn't bad, Martin continued. I mean, I think it's a good thing. Look, over the last 3 months, people have been exploring the idea of doing a meetup or get-together. All right, said Barry without a hint of enthusiasm. Well, I shouldn't have said that, Martin went on. It's more than just a meetup. I mean, over the last 3 months, people have been talking a lot about the White Horse Killer story, and they've wanted to organize it. With the events of the last 30 days, people have begun to think that the story about Emmanuel Inman being the White Horse Killer is false. I mean, you know that it's false. Emmanuel Inman is in prison for the murders, but he wasn't the White Horse Killer. Right, so what? Barry asked. You guys want to meet and talk about the White Horse Killer? Go for it. Again, it's not a meetup, Martin explained. It's a convention. Convention? Barry muttered. A convention for the White Horse Killer? How would that even work? Just hear me out, Martin calmed him. I mean, it's a convention next month in November. It's going to be called White Horse Con. White Horse Con? Barry muttered again. Yes, please, Barry, just hear me out, Martin went on. White Horse Con is going to be a gathering of the online sleuths that follow the White Horse Killer case. A lot of them are on your side. They doubt the official narrative, and of course, there will be some people who think that Inman was the real killer, but I'm just a little surprised, said Barry. I mean, yeah, surprised, but Martin, if you want to go to this convention, I can't stop you. I don't even want to discourage you. That's your choice. I'm not just going to it, he began. I'm organizing it. Organizing an event that is glorifying a serial killer, Barry almost barked. No way, Martin denied. Look, I said all this before. I report on the news. I report on existing stories. I don't glorify any of this stuff. And that is not what I'm trying to do. I don't want to make a serial killer look cool. This is about getting the truth, and this event will be the largest chance the country has to shine the light on the White Horse Killer story. You know that the White Horse Killer is still out there. The recent news coverage from the Red Horse story ignited the case. But this could save lives. Okay, Martin. Barry gave up. I mean, as I said, this is your choice and you can make your own decisions. I guess best of luck with your convention. That's not all, said Martin as his voice almost cracked. What is it? Barry inquired. I want you to be there, he requested. Well, Martin, Barry started. I thank you for the invite, but I don't go out that much. I work here in the motel and I walk to Cheetah Mart to pick up Joanna when she's done with work, but other than that, I'm really not up for going out. Not like that, Martin revealed. Then what? Barry asked. I want you to present, like being one of the presenters, he said. What? Barry almost hissed. Present? Martin, present what? I haven't done a presentation since I was back in college. I don't know what to say, and I hate public speaking. I just want you to think about it, Martin went on. I expected you would say something like that, but Barry, you've got to understand that you're one of the surviving witnesses of the White Horse Killer case. You don't have to say or do anything that would reveal vital information. You can keep any part of the story you want to yourself, or if you think that it would make trouble. Also, I'm not trying to force you to do this. I genuinely think that this would be a good opportunity for you to tell people that the real White Horse Killer has never been caught. Barry wanted nothing to do with this. He understood the situation from Martin's point of view, but he didn't completely agree. He wanted to tell Martin that the White Horse Killer was going to enjoy the whole thing from the sidelines. He would probably read about it online, stay up all night, basking in the exposure that he would receive from an event called White Horse Con. However, the whole reason that Barry had called Martin was to tell him that he was sorry for the way that he had been acting toward him, and Barry didn't want to continue that type of treatment. "I'll think about it," said Barry, with an ounce of fake optimism. "That's all I ask," Martin slightly cheered, "but there's one more thing I want to ask." "What's that?" Barry inquired. "I would like to see Joanna present too," he announced. "Oh," said Barry. The optimism faded. Chapter 15. "No!" Joanna almost shouted. "No, wait, I'm not doing that." "I am just passing on a message from Martin," Barry explained. Barry had informed Joanna about Martin's plan to organize White Horse Con. They were seated in the chairs, and Joanna had another bag from Cheetah Mart on the table with 2 turkey sandwiches. However, she was consumed by the conversation. "What exactly does he want?" she went on. "Does he want me to get in front of thousands of people and talk about the worst experiences of my life? I don't even want to talk about that in front of my family. I don't even want to talk about anything in front of thousands of people." "As I said," Barry started, "I was just passing on a message. I can tell, Martin, that you're not doing it." "That I'm not doing it?" she questioned him. "Does that mean that you're doing it?" Barry blew a bit of air into his cheek. "I didn't want to at first," he started, "but I was acting like a jerk to Martin, well, about everything, and I wanted to say no, but now I think I'm going to say yes." "You're joking," Joanna shrieked, but in a quiet voice. "The last thing we need is more attention on us. You can always tell Martin that you changed your mind." "I haven't said anything yet," said Barry. "I mean, he just told me to think about it and ask you." "White Horse Con?" she said. "Who would make a convention about a serial killer? The man is a murderer. He almost killed us." "Martin says it's not like that," Barry continued. "He says that there are a lot of people that believe the truth. I mean, there are people online that research the story, and they don't believe that Manny Inman was the White Horse Killer. They think that the real killer is still out there. I have no idea how many of them are getting together. Martin says that there are other people out there who won't believe us. They think that Manny Inman was the guy." "You're really going to do this?" Joanna announced. "I'm thinking it over," said Barry. "No, you're not," Joanna returned. "I can tell by the way you talk. You are going to do this. You've already decided. Talking to me about it is just a facade. I know how you work, love." "Excuse me?" Barry countered. "If I say that I haven't decided, I haven't decided. I wish you wouldn't doubt me like that. I mean, you do this a lot. You think you know what I'm thinking, even if I tell you directly that that's not what I'm thinking." "Am I right this time?" Joanna said in a teasing way. "I told you," Barry insisted. "I am still thinking about it." "Right," Joanna murmured. "But Barry, if you do choose to do this, there is one thing you have to do. Or one thing you can't do, really." "What's that?" he asked. Joanna squirmed in the chair for a little. Then she placed her hand gently on the brown table. "Please, don't tell them about the Satanic Network," she requested. "No, I wouldn't," Barry agreed. "I mean, I wasn't planning on that, and why would I even do that? I wouldn't do something like that." "These people are meeting to talk about the White Horse Killer," said Joanna. "If you go there and you give a speech about the killer, it's part of the story. I mean, Rick Carter, Trista, the whole letter W connection. Even that sick freak Robbie Watterson was wearing the symbol on his stupid Red Horse Killer costume. Please don't talk about that. I mean, you know why, right?" "Of course I do," Barry solidified. "I mean, it's a dark secret for both of us, and for Warren and Todd, and everyone who knows about the dead bodies in the forest." That's not the only part, Joanna elongated. The Satanic Network killed Rick Carter because he stole their symbol. He was using it, and they felt that he was either revealing their secrets or ripping them off or something. Whatever, I mean, the Satanic Network is not dead. Trista wasn't the leader of everything. The Satanic Network is nationwide. She wasn't even the real leader of that small group. She was just trusted, or like a respected member that people turn to. It's hard to explain. No, I get it, said Barry. The Satanic Network isn't even their real name. That's just what we call them. Joanna placed her right hand on the table as well. Then her eyes made an unusual look that Barry had seen before. He could see the wheels turning in her head, and her brain was moving at light speed. Barry? Joanna whispered. What is it, love? He asked. She started breathing heavily. I just remembered something, she announced. I just thought of it. You know, I was on the road with Trista for a long time, right? I just thought of it. What is it? He begged. The Soft Ice Killer and the White Horse Killer, she sounded. They both said, Baruch Alahe, Baruch Alave. Yeah, I know, said Barry. The White Horse even wrote that in his most recent letter, although he spelled it in a weird way at the end. LaVey, she repeated. What's LaVey? Barry asked. He was someone that Trista used to talk about, she revealed. His name was Anton LaVey. He founded the Church of Satan in 1966. I don't know how I could have forgotten that. I don't know. I mean, it's been over 5 years, but it just came back to me. It just hit me like, I don't know. Joanna stood up and began to pace around the empty space in the motel room. What are you doing, Joe? I don't know, said Joanna. This just connected with me and... What does it mean? The White Horse Killer can't be a member of the Satanic Network, can he? No, Barry denied. I mean, the evidence is going in the opposite direction. When we were in the car with him, he admitted that he stole their symbol. He said that. He stole their symbol, not Rick Carter. Although I think Rick Carter must have done it at some point. But anyway, that means that the White Horse Killer was not a member. Or not a member 5 years ago, anyway, Joanna clarified. But that's the Satanic Network. Were they members of the Church of Satan? Wow, Barry mulled. I mean, that's the best lead we have so far. Okay, so LaVey was the guy who founded the Church of Satan? What does LaHaye mean? The line is, Baruch LaHaye, Baruch LaVey. I don't know, Joanna admitted. But do you remember what I said about the Hebrew part, like Baruch Hashem, God bless, or whatever it truly means? I think it means something like God bless or thank God. Thank God, Church of Satan? Barry almost laughed. Hey, don't make fun of it, Joanna sneered. I think that this is on to something. And they said, Baruch Allah Vey. That means that they're saying Anton LaVey, and it's not about the whole Church of Satan. Take it easy, Joe, Barry reassured her. But you might be onto something, she ranted. Like, in Christianity, people say Satan Almighty, God Almighty, and Satan Almighty. And you must have heard satanic worshippers saying, Hail Satan, right? Of course, Barry concurred. But Joanna, I didn't even mean it like that. But I do, she persevered. Hail Satan. But there's a problem. What's that? Barry asked genuinely. Why not just say, Hail Satan? She asked back. I mean, that isn't something directly linked to the Satanic Network, and it's not exclusive to the Church of Satan either. I don't know, Barry thought out loud as well. Maybe they didn't want to make it obvious. Why not? Joanna asked. What's there to hide? Maybe they were best friends. Barry kept going. Maybe it was something they made up together, like a code name or something. I'm just guessing, but, I mean, that's what makes sense to me. Joanna walked toward Barry in the chair, and she pulled him out of it, and then she planted a kiss on his lips. I love the way you think, she said. I think we are almost there. And I love you, said Barry. But we are not almost there, he thought silently. We might have a clue, but we haven't caught the killer.